song intro?
Well, I think Skippy probably should this week, as we've sung every other week.
We should have a theme tune, shouldn't we? Yeah.
I don't sing, so let's not do that.
Do you sing bass?
Just rap.
I can't even rap. I'm a white guy. I can't rap.
Yeah. You can't jump, isn't it?
I can't jump either. You're right. Yeah.
No.
So anyway, here we are.
It's Inferno episode 4.
4. Wait.
4.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it? All right.
I was trying to think what that was in Welsh then, but it wasn't coming to me.
Pedwar, isn't it?
Yeah, I was closer to having it in some other language.
What now?
Rhaglen Pedwar.
There we go.
4. I don't know what episode is it. Program 4, Rhaglen.
Yeah, it's definitely Pedwar.
I don't know.
Definitely
Nice.
Pedwar.
Yeah.
I hope it is the 4th one, because that's quite embarrassing if it isn't.
It's not. I think it is the 4th one. So
Dial.
This is your
welcome.
3rd one, of course, because you were away last week, and I have to say you were sorely missed.
There we go.
Although thanks to Steve though, because he was really good as well. It was fun. It'd be nice to get all 4 of us on the sofa at some point.
I saw
If
Skippy
he
was
sat on
on
someone's
Strictly.
knee, that'd be good.
Yeah, he could lie across us actually. Quite likes doing
He
that.
could sit on someone's shoulder,
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Parrot.
But hopefully there'll be a bit more order this time, and it won't babble on for 47 minutes now. Skips you to control things. So
Under the iron fist of.
although we started quite well.
We have. We just talked rubbish for like 2 minutes. So that's good. All right. So last weekend's games. Let's go to that first because it's a nice place to start, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, not really.
Not
but
for me because
no.
I didn't see either of them. So
All right, fair play.
that makes me fantatically positioned to
talk about them
be on this
knowledgeably
show.
and interestingly. Excellent.
The Giants game.
Giants game. I got quite drunk because when we're not playing particularly well, I like to drink beer. John?
Well, I don't drink, and I'm busy on match nights generally, watching the game as it goes on. And, well, there was positives in there. So I should start off with that. There definitely was positives. We created plenty of chances. Our positional play, unfortunately, didn't match the chances we created, so that was an issue. Lacosta looked tight in the net, directed the D nicely. That was good. It could have been, the scoreline could have been a lot worse, in fairness, if Lacosta wasn't playing.
True.
And the guys kept people like Keith and Lloyd fairly quiet in the game, to be honest.
You're
Not
right, yeah.
that many comments made after the game about those two guys who normally, there's loads of comments made about because they're normally up to something.
Well, normally they control the game.
Exactly.
In that break, don't
They skated and they bossed us around, and we shut them down. Problem was we didn't shut down the rest of the squad. So guys like Swez suddenly kicked in.
Yeah.
You know, and
White Cotton and Effring,
Cotton,
is it?
Elfring, yeah.
They're quality players, and we didn't really do a job on them. My preference for these games would be to stick some early in the game, lay down a marker, target one of their big players in the game. I'm not suggesting we do anything illegal, but we go out there and we put a big check in, or we recreate something.
Yeah. Is it a big problem if somebody like Quiney goes out there, takes a 10-minute misconduct for fighting somebody like Lloyd, who or whatever, possibly end up with Keith for the third man in that scenario as well, probably, let's be honest. And is that a big deal if we end up on a penalty kill early on to get that kind of advantage? Do you think?
Well, they're likely to take a penalty as well.
Yeah, but
So-
even if they didn't, worst case scenario, 17 minutes for Quiney, 5 minutes for Lloyd, or maybe just 2, whatever.
But lay down a marker.
But lay down a marker.
No.
Early season game, we keep losing. They've owned us for 2
But
years.
then
Is that a big deal? if
The
that happens?
first time
No.
Lloyd put a hit on someone, 3 guys went for him. G went for him, Batch went for him, and somebody else had a pop as well.
Yeah,
So I think we did try and lay that marker down.
but it was reactive by the sound of
Reactive,
it,
yeah. We didn't
which
go
is
out there and...
quite often the case, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't step it up until so the other team have stepped it up and taken the initiative, or maybe there's a bit of injustice from the referee, and we see that quite a lot.
Yeah.
But how often do we take the initiative in those situations?
No, we're not. We haven't been proactive, and the reason that I mentioned it really, and the reason that you mentioned Quiney is that he's a guy who's probably not getting used as much as he maybe could be, given his size and a role that he could fulfil for us in the league that he plays in. Some of the time, he's feared around the league. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He puts himself about a bit. I'd like to see that at this level. I don't see any reason why he couldn't step it up with some of the bigger guys. And early in the game, he goes out. In the old days when I used to play, I played a bit of rugby. My coach would say to me, John, that guy over there on that team, whichever player it was, I say it was the number 10 or whatever, he's their best player. In the first 5 minutes of the game, I wanted to make sure that as soon as he receives the ball, you wake him up. And by that, he meant make sure that if you...
Make him a cup of tea.
Well, if you make the tackle on him, make sure that he knows all about it.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing that I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
because once that's happened once, every time that guy receives the ball, he's expecting to see you.
Yeah.
And the same at the hockey. You lay down a marker early on, and then they're always thinking, well, he could be on the... if he's about,
And it's not, the thing is, it's not just the tough guys, you know, is it? It's why aren't we going after the skill guys? Like you're talking about the best player on the team. Why aren't we going after you know, Keith doesn't care who he hits. He goes for Mark Richardson. Lloyd put that big hit on Richardson last time, didn't he? You know, people like that, they go for key players. It's not just this sort of idea of, you can only go for the tough guys.
Yeah.
You know, get stuck into some of their skill guys, put them off the game. That's good enforcing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Just another point on that. You mentioned that Lacoste had a good game, and it could have been 8, if it possibly.
Well,
a few. Is that what's going on then? Is that the defence, or is that team defence? Are the forwards not pulling their weight? What's happening? Because, you know,
I think at the back we look really solid. Lacoste is a good netminder.
Yeah.
The D looks solid to me. It's offensively, we're not producing. We didn't produce goals. You know, if we'd have scored 5 in that game, happy days.
Yeah.
What I would say is that we do produce is great chances for the other team, because we have a tendency to give up the puck in dangerous areas. Yeah. And when we're trying to lay off the puck to point or to the blue line for one of our guys coming in, they're not there, which means the opposition team skate onto it in a great position. That they've got a great position to attack down the centre of the ice or whatever. They can distribute the puck around fairly easily. Yeah. So they're getting good opportunities on our netminder that half the time we're generating, unfortunately, which should be good opportunities for us on their netminder. So our positional play some of the time seems to be a little bit lacking. And it just doesn't look like the lines have gelled, because it still looks like the guys don't know where the other guy is going to be.
So what were the lines last week then?
I couldn't tell you. It felt on Saturday night like we were experimenting. It really did. We seemed to chop and change lines quite a lot. That's what I saw anyway. I don't know.
No, well, I felt the same. And for me, the line that seemed to be really getting on with it out there and gelling was the young British guys.
Yeah, definitely.
When Pigsy, Ben and CJ were out together, they really looked like they all knew where the other one was going to be. And they put their bodies on the line. And I'm not criticising the imports here, but they stood out for doing it. And that's why, when we're thinking back, you're struggling to remember some of the things the other guys were doing. Like certainly the importees, they didn't do a bad job, because I can remember seeing Plumpton and Marshy around the ice doing their jobs.
Mark Smith always works hard as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, Mark Smith, he was solid. Richie was solid. So I'm not trying to name names or single people out. We just gave up too many good chances. We used to be really good in Cardiff at one time of attacking with a few guys at once, and we'd get a bit of passing into play and we'd shoot. And at the moment, we don't seem to do that. We'd have you'd have 2 or 3 guys skating up, and they'd be working together. It would either be a set move where one of them was actually going to carry the puck and try and beat the netminder, while the netminder's thinking, who on earth is he going to pass to? But we don't seem to, I can't remember seeing that much this season at all. No. We're not working the netminders. We don't appear to be trying to pull them side to side. Like Murphy's a good netminder, and the only way you're going to beat him is by creating a really good chance. It's not as easy to beat him when you're going to take a shot at him, and half the time, unfortunately, we shot straight at the body.
Yep.
We didn't make it difficult.
It's all great news. We started on a positive, didn't we?
We did. And
wasn't that the intention?
All right, positive.
Is that indicative of kind of how the fan base is feeling at the minute, though? Is we're trying to be positive, but
seems to be.
It's quite hard to be.
Seems to be, yeah. All right, positive. Sunday.
Yeah.
It's the Caps. We still got to win. 2 points away. Yay! There we go. Positive.
Well, it's important to win those games that you really should be winning. But we've struggled against the Caps in recent years.
We have.
We haven't done well at Murrayfield. And it's not always the easiest place to go.
It was 50-50 last year, wasn't it? They won 2, we won 2. So
I think they had a full squad for this game as well. They got is it Bagron? Was that his name?
Yeah, he's back in.
He's back, and he's quality, and they are a bit better again now. So we did well. We got a result there, which we absolutely needed. If you're going to make that sort of journey, you're going to drive 420 miles back.
Yeah,
you've got to win. So
just to be fair and balanced on this, then is the bad news is we won away from home and played badly at home again, and it goes back a little bit to the point we were talking about last time. Is how many people actually care if we win away compared to the impact of winning at home does?
I care.
You care?
I care.
That's great.
Not everybody
we care
goes
because we follow the Devils.
But not everybody does.
How many people in that rink? Yeah.
I remember my first season coming along regular. I had no idea about the away games.
No.
Someone would say we played last night. I went, did we? Okay, fair play. Yeah. I'd come along and I'd watch hockey on the ice and then leave.
Yeah.
So, as a starting fan, didn't care.
Yeah.
You know.
No, away games don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for a lot of us who are thinking about long term over the season and where we're going and how the team is building, it's important.
Then it's important, yeah.
Absolutely.
But we seem to be doing okay where we got a bit of room to skate around on the big ice. On our own ice, which we really should be controlling because it's small ice, we're struggling to do anything with it. The other teams, they've recognised how you win on small ice.
And we haven't.
Yeah.
No, and we
See,
don't seem to have.
Every year we hear this, oh, we're a small ice team, we're built for small ice.
Yeah. We always start like this.
But on small ice, you can't dwell on the puck.
No, you can't.
One player can't try and do too much. If you're going to move the puck, you've got to move it quickly. The other teams, they're moving the puck quickly. They're beating our netminder. They've moved the puck quickly. The netminder's he's looking at a couple of guys at once or whatever. Whatever's going on, they're scoring. We go up there. We try and beat the netminder with one man.
Yeah.
And we're not moving the puck quickly enough. And there's
there's
no
a lot
time
of
to dwell on
odd-man
it.
rushes at home as well. I know I wasn't there in the weekend, but in the few, in the games I've seen this year, there's been a lot of odd-man rushes at home, and isn't that like, for me, and it's pretty obvious. There's too big a gap between the D and the forward. So, and on that small ice, one pass and you through that gap, that exploits that gap straight away.
We
You've
had
got an odd-man rush, and
4 or 5 times on Saturday that happened.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we are.
Fortunately,
But
with Lacoste in
my
the
point
net,
is
it
validated.
makes quite a
But
difference.
with Lacoste in the net, it didn't seem to be that,
It's less important.
we're going to get scored on here.
But it's still a nice
Yeah.
opportunity for the other team and to relieve
definitely.
pressure and to build that momentum, isn't it? Getting a few.
There was a couple of times I felt really nervous, and he just looked really solid
Yeah,
and
he
confident.
did, yeah.
And he's excellent both sides, and he is very quick between the posts.
Quite aggressively playing the puck as well. None of this,
Yeah.
someone skating towards me, I'm going to cover it.
No.
There's, I'm going to skate away with it and play it over there.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
nice to see. It was like a very confident
He's
netminder.
very sharp.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You not all the netminders in the league are like that, I'd have to say.
No.
But
So what is the if we could put it down to sort of one thing with the way we're playing at home, what is it? Why aren't we producing at least, even if we're not winning, why aren't we producing a product that is going to get somebody back, for the next week? Why aren't we producing an intense performance that's putting the other team? Because the other teams, to be honest, they're not looking like they're coming there feeling a lot of pressure. They're not looking like they're coming there intimidated anymore like they used to do. What is it that we can do if we can sort of pinpoint one or two things that we need to improve on to change that fortune at home?
get on the end of our own of the chances we're making and screen their netminder more.
Yeah.
Because people are scoring tips on us all the time and we're not scoring tips.
Yeah, we don't seem to be screening the netminder at all. I know
Right.
Phil Hill was trying Saturday. He screened him a couple of times. We didn't get anything off it, but he did get in there.
So why isn't that happening when I would have thought that's like one of the sort of almost first plays you learn, isn't it? As a hockey player, it's one of the most basic plays when things aren't going well and you want to keep it simple. Get bodies in front of the net, shoot on the net, try and create lanes and get a rebound and put pressure on and build some momentum. Isn't that one of the go-to things you go to?
Well, everyone's
when
doing it
things
to
aren't
us.
going well?
Yeah.
Everyone else is doing it to us.
Especially on our rink.
Yeah.
I think we've said every week so far about going back to basic hockey. And, we didn't see anybody skating into the offensive zone backwards, in fairness, really, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Did we?
Yeah, a Belfast player did it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
One of ours.
But on our team, we didn't really
Hilarious.
do so much of it. We didn't seem to try the fact too much. There wasn't many drop-off passes. Let's not dwell on that too much.
Let's,
all good.
All right.
So going on from that, really,
crowd reaction. Should we talk about that?
yeah. So
Well,
the game.
It's quite nicely linked to perhaps the issue of going to net,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Could
For
be.
me, anyway. You look completely confused by what I just said.
What on the next point you're going to cover? Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose it does. Yeah, because you mean the fans see us go into the net and it makes them feel more enthused about the performance.
Yes, but also maybe more enthused about the effort the team is putting in, perhaps.
Let's practice. Let's both do it to him now.
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah, I thought that was rubbish. That point.
And now I feel awful about myself, and I'm going to be even worse next week.
Good.
Exactly.
Good. That's good.
And
We want to get you in that shame spiral because that's good. Just get you spiraling down every week until you just sat in the corner sobbing. It'd be great. Yeah.
Well, from my point of view, if at the end of the game the guys were all clapping each other on the back and grinning as they were going off the ice, having not played as well as they could have, because that's not to say they played terribly, because they didn't play as well as they could have, because we'd win if they did,
Yeah.
because they're good enough to beat just about any team in the league, really,
Yeah.
and they're backstopped by the right guy for our team.
The league does seem a lot more equal.
Yeah,
This
I
year.
think it's more even.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
not.
I think the promises that were made to the Devils fans before the season about you're going to have a great netminder, you're going to have a great team, It doesn't help, but I don't necessarily think they're wrong.
No.
I just don't think we're delivering on the standard we've got.
So, booing. Let's talk about it.
So
it's been a big thing this week. People booed after the game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of booing? Because you hear the odd boo.
There was a lot more than I've heard
more
before.
than you'd like, more than you'd expect. Yeah.
But that's a culmination of we haven't won a competitive match
home game
have
apart
we?
from pre-season, was it?
Yeah,
so
we beat the Blaze pre-season.
Pre-season. So is that a culmination, or is that specifically that performance from the weekend?
No, I think it's probably a few weeks' performances and people feeling that we haven't got the passion. There's a difference between going out there and trying on the ice and actually having a bit of passion when you play as well.
True, yeah.
And for me, as a Celt, or sort of part Celt anyway, and the rest of us who are Celts, we have a proud history, and all the other...
you wouldn't.
Yeah, well, apart from you. You wouldn't know. But the other nations, the Irish and the Scottish, they and the Welsh, have battled for their position in history.
True.
And what we all want, the same as when the rugby team goes out to play, and it was the same for years, because I'm a massive rugby fan, I used to go to lots of games, we lost loads of games over a lot of years.
Yeah.
But if the boys went out there and they gave it everything, we all felt okay about it.
Exactly.
And that's all. And with the Devils at the moment, certainly there's plenty of technical ability on display, just not the finishing ability really. But we can see lots of other good bits and pieces going on.
Definitely.
But are we seeing enough passion for the fans to feel at the end of it the guys gave 100%? I think that...
And it's not cheap to go and watch an Elite League game nowadays, is it?
No.
Either? So
what is season ticket? I'm season ticket holder. So what is the actual? I couldn't tell what the actual price was. How much is it?
for a season ticket?
No, for a ticket.
Oh, for a ticket,
£17.
it's 17 if you.
Fair play.
But that's without booking.
So like 18.50.
Yeah, more like that. Yeah, which is
Okay.
I know prices increase or whatever. I remember not too many years ago when I was a student, I was getting in for about £7 or £8 with an NUS card, and that's less than 10 years ago. So I remember
£9 standing at the old one.
But I think my position on it is it's not great to hear, and ideally you don't want to hear any boo because you hope that the team's sort of winning and everything like that. But I think it comes down to what you were saying. If you can tell, or you get the impression that absolutely everything has been given for the cause, if they lost 10-0, you would cheer at the end. Yeah, and we've seen that in previous seasons when we've been bodies down and we've had 2 lines barely. They've lost, comfortably in games, inevitably in those situations. But guys are coming off absolutely shattered, and they've got a big cheer coming off. When you can see that, and it's at any job, isn't it? If you get the impression that somebody is not, or a team collectively is not giving it absolutely everything that they're paid to do, when you're paying to go and see that as well, people work hard in the week to go and have that big enjoyment on the weekend, and they want to see those players give everything. If that impression is that they're not, then I can understand why there are some boos happening. That's probably kind of my feeling on it.
So to wrap it up, sorry to interrupt.
No, you can do that anytime.
No, to wrap it up, booing, yes or no for you?
That's
you're
a horrible person.
I know.
I think there is an argument for booing in certain circumstances, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the result.
No, I think you've explained exactly why people might feel like booing.
Yeah.
Skippy, for you?
I won't boo. I will cap sarcastically or ironically, but I will not boo.
Do you think that translates to the players?
I don't know. And I'm like, well, I don't think they see it. I really don't. Yeah, maybe they do. I don't know. Or the golf clap.
Oh yes,
good game. Good game. Bravo.
Good.
But I don't boo.
I wouldn't boo.
But there have been rare instances where I haven't clapped, and on one very rare instance where I turned my back because I didn't feel the players deserved any feedback from me really. But it was a long time ago now, and we won't go into that. But for me, I don't like the booing, but I understand why people might feel about booing. Moving on.
Let's talk about. We haven't done this before.
Booing, it kind of rhymes with moving, doesn't it, as well?
It does.
That was really cool.
We should have gone straight into. Shouldn't we gone straight into moving on up then?
All right. We have quick league roundup because a couple of weird ones today.
Okay.
Derek Campbell. I've written the word lol on the paper and then I put a Z after it, so it says lols.
We should open the show with it, really.
47 games.
Well, soup and gas goes together, doesn't it?
Soup and gas, yeah.
You put your soup on the gas. So I like Derek Campbell, but what he did in that game was insane.
Ridiculous, yeah. So 12 games for gouging,
15 for off the ice, was it?
Something about kneeing in the head.
Kneeing in the
Yeah,
head
contact,
as well.
excessive contact with the
Was
player on the
all-
ice.
Yeah.
He didn't want to stop fighting.
No.
He took a hit, which was heavy, but didn't look particularly dirty, but it was heavy. Obviously didn't like it. Went in there, got himself involved, went off the ice, got himself involved again. And unfortunately, it's a shame because for Hull, he's been doing well.
Yeah.
I quite like Derek.
If you take away all the ridiculousness of him or the stuff he can do,
Yeah.
I for me, like he's a really good player.
He's
a
more
kind
than a
of guy
point-of-game player.
actually in
Yeah.
terms of, not the kind of guy, but the kind of player that we could have done with on a few occasions over the last few years. You know,
Yeah.
fantastic penalty killer in big games. You can see he really wants it. You know, he's that kind of player. Scores big goals. You know, good fighter in his weight class, and he'll go up against anyone. But for whatever reason, there's something that just
There's
flicks
something
with him,
loose.
isn't it? That
Yeah.
lets him down because he's done a lot of good. We can't forget that. I mean, this is a hilarious and horrendous ban, 47
Well,
games, but
'cause,
he
yeah,
has done a lot of good in where he's been.
Blaze, they won the title the year he was
Yeah.
there. Sheffield, they won when he was there. You know, so there's got to be something he's doing right.
Yeah,
But
No, he can
yeah.
play.
Yeah. Well, we might see.
there you go.
Might see him somewhere next year.
We might do.
Maybe.
Well, yes,
Moving on.
possibly.
Moving on, Brayhead,
Moonwalked today.
moonwalked.
Did you like that?
I knew you were going to go for it. Had to
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, so moonwalked.
Moonwalk today.
So training camp.
yeah, I
Used-
think so.
Used this
Yeah,
league
got-
as a bit of a training camp to.
Got himself fit, and he's got a
Yeah.
nice contract in the ECHL. He's a quality player. I think he's was he 10 from 8?
Something like that.
So he's a quality player. I think
Yeah.
he would only got better as the season got on. It's a big disappointment for them, in all honesty,
is.
and it's going to be a tough ask to get somebody in. But with Chalmers on board now, because I think he started work yesterday, Gareth Chalmers.
Yeah.
Previously of 9 management, was it?
Yeah.
The
I think he's both, isn't he? Is he sort of
well,
both?
I don't think he's running. I don't think the European side of it is running quite the same anymore
Oh,
as
okay.
he's with the clan. But he will have all the contacts.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Finner there as well, I think that they'll pull another quality player in.
I think they've already said in the press they've got 4 guys on the you know, on the boil.
bubble.
But who knows?
It
That
used to
could
be
be
blower, didn't it? But I guess it's emails now,
probably yeah.
or is it Twitter?
I have no idea.
Moving on.
Moving on. Yeah. So
Aled, you're sacked.
Thank you.
Now, if I said that to you,
Yeah.
no, you're a drummer, is that right?
Yes.
Most of the time, are you a good drummer?
Well, I love it when people ask that question.
Well, I think you're a pretty good drummer, aren't you?
I'm alright.
And you're probably wondering where I'm going with this, but
Yeah.
I know I'm not an expert on drumming. I've seen guys drumming. I've seen you drumming. It sounded good to me. I've seen Brett drumming at the arena.
Yeah.
Looks good to me. There's
Yeah.
a young lad who comes as well. The one with the cap.
Jiff's an awesome
yeah,
drummer.
great.
Yeah.
Also a great drummer.
Yeah.
I'm no expert on that. And one thing that does upset me from time to time is when people call for players to be gassed, because I say it directly to the camera. The guys who are playing ice hockey for the Devils, the vast majority of them, that's their job. This isn't a hobby. They don't go there and they play that, and if it doesn't work out, you gas them and they go off back to their day job. That for these guys, this is their day job. And if the coach decides that a guy isn't working out for us, then they need to be gone, then that's for the coach to do. But it's very easy to say, gas a player, bring a guy in, do this, put him there. But unfortunately, what we're talking about here is people's lives. And if someone said, like I said to you, and you didn't know that was coming, and you probably thought, what on earth is he talking about? And it makes you feel a little bit sick. If someone said to me, John, you're sacked.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a terrible feeling, and I wouldn't be out there encouraging people to sack people, because it does get listened to. If we saw a Brayhead clan last year, I think it was Bobby Chamont who got gassed, who actually statistically was one of their better players.
That was a very. I didn't understand the decision at the time. It was because he was playing well.
Yeah, he
played
was.
really
He went
well.
to Fife and he continued to play well. And he's playing well this season as well.
Exactly.
Bob wasn't a bad player.
No.
And there's a guy got mentioned today, and it's Phil Hill, and he may be not playing at the top of his game, but let's all get behind him, give him some encouragement.
Did we say that? He's 7 points in 10 games.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
that far behind his average stats actually over the last 3 years, which if you look at them, are not that far behind someone like Ashley Tate, for instance.
No, exactly.
On paper, he certainly isn't a terrible player, and I think at the moment Phil. But then the whole team, as we've said, the whole team isn't quite playing to the top of its game.
Oh, he's
And
not the only one by a long
he's
stretch.
not the only one who's been mentioned either, in fairness, but he was mentioned today, and I just think in general we've all got to try. We've got to get behind the guys. Basically, going into this weekend's games, everybody needs our support, and whatever we think about what's gone on before, we all got to get behind them.
That was a great link. Well done.
Thanks.
because we're going
It
into.
was really good. What did it have to do with drumming though?
It didn't have anything to do with it because I'm not an expert on drumming. I'm also I'm also not an expert on hockey, which is why I'm not calling for hockey players to be sacked.
No, see, it was like a little.
Yeah.
I understand now.
After school special learning
You have
thing.
to explain some things to me sometimes.
Boo.
Oh.
Right, anyway.
The coach
I'm
is
not having a good day.
Sorry,
here.
the point I was making is the coach
Yeah.
is the expert. So if
I
he says
understand.
I need to gas that player,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, that's
I
fine.
wouldn't be calling for a player to
Yeah.
be gassed.
Sometimes I can't read between
So,
lines.
upcoming
That was
weekend's
good.
games, which
I
is where
enjoyed
you were taking us before Ali went back into his
Oh.
whinging about drumming and being fired.
Well, I think we just cover them off very briefly. Caps should be a win for us in our own barn.
You'd hope so.
It really should be a win for us. And then Sunday, I'll quickly touch on Sunday. The convoy comes back for Sunday's game. We're in Sheffield. We beat them there last time. They're not doing too well at home. That's another chance for us. If we've got 2 wins in a row, which hopefully we will have, no disrespect to the Caps, but we'll be hoping to beat them again when they come down.
Yeah.
We go into Sheffield with a little bit of momentum behind us.
Combo back.
Yeah, hopefully on the Caps game, we'll get plenty of opportunities to shoot again and to practice a bit in front of the net. And then we can, we'll see where we are then for the Sheffield game, and hopefully go out there and give it a performance.
It'd be nice to get a good positive 4-point weekend, wouldn't it?
It would.
I mean, we can't guarantee that against Sheffield. The Caps should do the job.
Well, Sheffield are a very good very good side, but they're still weakened.
Who have they got out this weekend? Do we know?
Loads of people still.
Yeah.
They're still playing lots of guys out of position. So if we're going to beat them, because I think as the season progresses, if they bring more people in the strength they've already got, they're going to be very hard to beat by anybody.
Now they've got Lacroix, because already is he still out?
Yeah.
They're missing a couple of other guys as well.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They have got injury problems. They're playing guys out of position. They've got forwards playing D. If we're going to beat them, we've got to do it again now while they're weakened.
Exactly.
Because it will be harder going forwards.
Yeah.
And we're away from home, so we probably will win.
Well, yeah.
It's big ice.
Yeah. Big ice.
Yeah.
Good news.
Big ice. We win on big ice.
We win.
And in
Might win the playoffs.
Yay!
in very late final news, Ryan Watt.
Yeah, fired
He's
today.
definitely coming to the Devils, isn't he?
we definitely haven't heard
That's what I heard.
But we've heard that Ryan is available. So I'm
wrote
sure
his name on a bit of paper. And
I'm sure there will
means
be
it's
a
true.
number of teams around the league looking at him because he's a guy who stands up. He protects his teammates. He puts himself about on the ice.
We know why. Does anyone know why?
Somebody do the light dance. Somebody do the light dance.
No, I don't know
James.
what the issue is there. I don't know whether he's had a slow start to the season because it was news we only got as we were about to come on. So
exactly.
But I like Ryan. He's a good guy, and if he sees it, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Hope he as well.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, good luck.
Anyone else with any more, or are we spent?
Well, what do you? Yeah, that's it, really, isn't it? So I didn't go to any games this weekend, so I can't really offer anything else. So I'll save it for next weekend.
See,
So,
I'm missing Saturday and Sunday, so I'll be in your position
You'll
next
be in
week.
my position.
I won't know what's going on.
Although you probably won't look quite as stupid.
It's not hard.
I've resisted commenting. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's unusual for me. I know.
He says it all with his eyes.
Yeah,
He does.
I haven't said anything yet.
What are you doing tonight? Anything
Shifty
fun?
eyes. No plans.
You got no plans?
Chris has said he's going to buy me a meal after filming. So
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'm sorted.
Oh, it's like that, is it?
Yeah.
Certain people are getting privileges now.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it goes. All right.
Well,
Yeah, I understand.
sorry.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Good
guys.
night. Day. Bye. Bye.
I really enjoyed